Fox coming in. Can you talk about just the evolution of the point guard position, you know, going from when Chris Paul first came into the league to what you're going to be dealing with now, those two guys working with Wendy?
Yeah, the point guard in probably every position has evolved quite a bit since Chris entered the league. Positions are a very fluid idea these days, whether style of play from a team or just a skill set from individual players. The game has just kind of morphed into skills and versatility and multiple skill sets kind of complementing and playing with and off each other. And the guys you named obviously have a whole lot of skills. So the versatility and room to grow and being creative will be at the forefront.
Just backing up your thoughts on De'Aaron Fox, who's going to be coming in, and maybe your early thoughts on what this might look like when, you know, in the best case scenario for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, he's, I believe it's his 8th year in the league. His resume speaks for itself. He is a top player in this league, both ends of the floor, dynamic in every sense of the word. I think he won Clutch Player of the Year 2 years ago. It might be off by a year or so. I mean, it is dynamic, and we're looking forward to adding him to the group and continuing to grow and trying to maximize and help these guys play off each other.
Coach, a lot of what you guys are doing, obviously you want to win, but a lot of what you were doing was about sort of evaluation of a lot of these young guys. How does Fox coming in, how does it change things, or does it?
You know, I think the players have always dictated playing time, starting lineups, finishing games, roles. You know, Pop has a great quote, you know, the players will tell us. And I think even when, you know, there's so much talk about Victor and timeline and winning and development and this evolution that we've gone through, as you allude to, we've always wanted to win. Sometimes this league dictates the capacity or opportunity at which you can do that in a big picture. When you add a player like De'Aaron Fox and you already have a strong foundation, there will be opinions and expectations that come with that. What that means, what the timeline is, we won't get into that, but we will not shy away from the reality of adding good players and things that come with that.
Hey, Coach, it's not the first time you guys have met. What can you take from the first few games you played against each other to prepare for tonight?
We played 2 good games against this team, but not complete games. I think they wore us down. I think they did some things where the game was in the balance and it got away from us. You give them a lot of credit for that. And it'll be a good test for us to be disciplined and consistent for 48 minutes, because the brand of basketball they play, you can almost copy and paste it regardless of who's in, who's out, the lineup, who's having a good game for them. They play the way they do unapologetically, and it's a lot of credit to Coach Jenkins, their staff, and their team. They have a real identity, and they play to it. They're seeing a lot of success doing that.
Going back to the new guys coming in, do you have a sense of like the process for getting them in, getting them up to speed? And especially because I think you probably have 0 days of practice between now and the end of the season.
I believe, you know, it's the same for all the teams making trades at this time of the protocol. I'm sure as guys flying to market, got to get physicals passed from all the parties involved to make sure it's completed. I know the trade's been announced by all teams, but you still just need all those I's dotted, T's crossed in the sense of that. And then, you know, if there is a opportunity for De'Aaron and Jordan as well to meet us in Atlanta and be ready to go, then they'll be ready to go. I mean, they're in the season. There's no concern of ramping up conditioning or whatnot. And, you know, we obviously know there will be a runway of learning our program and terminology and how we do things. But again, these guys have been in the league a while, and there'll be some patience and some, I'm sure, excitement on both sides from the group here waiting on them and them joining the group. And it'll just be something we work through and try to expedite as much as possible without having a ton of practice time.
And you know, you already have a starting point guard in Chris Paul. Do you have sense that you can play both of them together if you need to, start both of them together if you need to? Is there
Yeah,
reason you could do that?
I think one thing we've seen this year is our lineups have been ever-changing and evolving. We played, Trey, we played Chris together, we've played Jeremy or Harrison at the 5, and it's going to be just a continue Rubik's Cube puzzle that we'll put together and try to find combinations that work.
Coach, right now all the focus is on all-star games and trades and stuff like that. But since you've taken the lead role, what have you learned about yourself and how have you grown as a coach leading this group?
I think just trying to make sure I allocate my energy and my voice in the right places. That's had to change a little bit in the role change, but for the most part, we do it as a group, and the program and the goals and the process of the way we do things hasn't changed. It's just as much of me probably trying to understand how to be efficient and maximize myself. I also relying on the staff to do a lot, and just how much support I've got. And with that, I know I haven't been asked, but Trey Jones, Zach Collins, and City Sissoko played very, very integral parts of our program. You look at Trey in the 4 years that he's been here, and the fabric of our team, and the competitiveness and the drive, and just being one of those connectors on and off the court. We got Zach Collins when he was out for the year injured, and he was the best I've ever seen at any level of joining a team while being injured and being a part of the team in a genuine way. There was no fake hustle, there was no rah-rah. That's hard when you join a team and you've been injured like that. And it was been very fascinating and happy for him to see him go from that to now back as a rotational player and playing at the level he has. And then you talk about City, who we got played a year in the G League, and now a young player that looks like he's on the cusp of being able to be in the rotation. So 3 players that have been such a big part of our program, and I think sometimes when you're not there every day, there are certain guys that get a lot of ink and a lot of questions from you people, as they should. Victor, Chris, De'Aaron Fox, and whatnot. But those 3 guys were big parts of our program, and I think there's common sentiments from all of them and from us about them in terms of sad to see them go, grateful for their time here, and appreciative of everybody involved. And I think, if anything, it's been a reflection of our program from top to bottom, and management, ownership, and the support we have here. So when you asked that question, I know I took you a long, windy road, but that's something that I think I felt, and at this time is very, very applicable.
Coach, apologies if this has already been addressed or confirmed, but do you guys expect Victor tonight? I know he was still coming into the game.
I would say expecting him, yes, but need to make sure just to go through pregame and whatnot. But he's definitely trending in the right way. It was, as we said last game, nothing too serious. So hopefully he'll be able to go.
Thanks, Coach.